Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? So, Wastelanders details are coming thick and fast now, and Bethesda has some very, very interesting bits and pieces for us today that I'm very, very excited for. I suspect you guys will be as well. So, let's jump in and take a look, shall we? So, looks like we're confirming the suspicion I had a couple of weeks ago. The main site for the settlers is going to be up at Spruce Knob, judging by this banner we've got at the top. But Fallout 76, inside the vault. New arrivals coming to Appalachia and Wastelanders. Finally getting some details about the settlers and the raiders. Some very, very cool details as well from the look of this. Welcome back to Inside the Vault. This week we're sharing introductions to the settlers and raiders, two new factions that you will meet when our Wastelanders update arrives. We've also got a brief update on the Wastelanders PTS, as well as a reminder about limited time cosmetic rewards you can claim if you're a Twitch Prime member. So, all very good stuff then. So, as for the whole new factions thing, well, not totally convinced on that. Settlers and raiders we're both very, very familiar with, but depending on how they've decided to do this and how much they've changed the character of them, or what sort of route they're taking with the two factions here, it could be a little different, so reserve judgment yet, but very excited to hear more details about this. So, meet the major Wastelanders factions. Humans are on their way back to Appalachia in our upcoming Wastelanders update, but of course not everyone was prepared with the same exceptional training that you received while inside Vault 76. Banding together with other like-minded folks and working towards common goals has given these groups a means of survival and purpose as they find new homes in the wasteland. The Settlers and Raiders are two major factions you encounter as you quest around Appalachia after the Wastelanders update, and we'd like to give you a bit of spoiler-free background on each. Awesome. So, first things first, we have a very, very cool look at the front gate to the Foundation, which is the home of the settlers, as we saw before. Spruce Knob with a major overhaul. It looks really, really cool. I'm sure a number of people, myself and you guys included, will be very, very keen to have at least some of these new building assets that we can see here appear in game. I'm willing to bet it's going to be Atomic Shop, but as long as we get this immensely cool looking stuff, I'll be very, very happy about it. Looks like the textures are a bit more high res, so if there's a little bit of a texture overhaul coming in there, that would be cool, as long as it's not just focused solely on the new assets and they look kind of jarring next to the old ones, hopefully. But very, very cool. Looks quite interesting. Looks like a railway track that we used to create the sign there. Just noticed. That's cool. Plenty of lights. I like the wooden palisade as well. That's really, really cool. Very, very interesting. Nice and sturdy. Keep the super mutants out. Hopefully the raiders as well. Got a cattle grid on the go there as well. That's cool. Takes me back to my old country days. So, led by Paige, the former head of a construction workers union in Washington, D.C., the settlers are a hard-working and industrious crew, primarily made up of people who are well-versed in how to construct and run a city. So, coming out from D.C., it'd be interesting to see if we find a bit of information about the current state of the capital wasteland, Fallout 3. Definitely be interested to hear what that was like immediately after the bombs. I'd imagine pretty hellish. Small miracle anybody survived in that area, really. Given the capital of the US, it'd pretty much be target number one for the bombs, so should be some very interesting information to find out there. Looking forward to getting stuck into that. After hearing that Appalachia might offer some refuge from the trials of the wasteland, apparently the Scorched Beast news didn't get out. They made their way into the area in hopes of finding a safe place to begin rebuilding, even. They broke ground at Spruce Knob and began repurposing existing buildings, cleared the surrounding trees, and a fledgling city has begun taking shape, which they've dubbed the Foundation. These settlers may know their way around construction equipment, but they have no idea what challenges you and the others have faced in Appalachia during the past year. It may be mutually beneficial to seek them out and share your experiences, and lend a helping hand towards their efforts. So, construction crew then. That explains the very well built up look of the place. Obviously would know what they're doing, so useful set of skills when you're surviving post-apocalypse, I suppose. Taking a look at the next picture, we've got a bit of a walkway around. It looks like the old scaffolding from Fallout 4 might be making a reappearance. It'd be awesome to have that back in the game as well. Certainly open up our building options a little bit. I'd love to have some of these little floor panels that you can see that just underfoot there as well, the plywood boards. They were only available through mods with Fallout 4, but I'd love to see them come into the base game because they add some wonderful texture to the ground, which is cool. So fingers crossed we'll get those as separate building elements as well. That would be great, along with the walls and stuff. looking very, very cool. So I've got some combat rifles, possibly a pipe rifle in the back there. Some construction gear, looks good. Using the existing structures. Yeah, looks like they've been there for a little while, or they're extremely efficient now. So we're obviously going to jump forward quite a bit with the update, just judging by how well built up this place is. It's interesting to see. I'll be curious to see just how much time passes and just how they're going to sort of cover the passage of time. It's going to be an interesting question. Yeah, it looks like a very, very cool location. So, on to the Raiders. This is a location we've seen a little bit of before, up by the crashed space station. And not entirely convinced I agree with PC Gamer's recent tweets suggesting that the Raiders have the coolest location. It's definitely cool, but I quite like the look of the Settlers place as well. So, either way, liking the look of this. It's very, very... It's got a little Mad Max to it. It's very, very Raider. Nice to see a splash of colour with the red tents there as well. Another item I wouldn't mind getting my hands on to build with. As well as some of these rusted staircases there look like they'd be very, very cool to get hold of as well. Some of the H-beams, the I-beams, or whatever you want to call them, the steel girders. Those would be good to get hold of as well. There's a lot of things in there I would itch to start building with, I think. It looks really, really cool. So, the Raiders are no strangers to Appalachia. At one time, they even called it home. After they caught wind that people were returning to the land they once claimed for themselves, the Raiders and their leader Meg decided to come back and put a stop to anyone who dared to snatch up their rightful territory. They set up a rather formidable base of operations at the crashed space station that they call the Crater. And outsiders who drop by unannounced aren't going to get a warm welcome. If you're looking to arrange an introduction to Meg and her gang, you will need to be crafty. Okay, interesting. So, previously we were given the impression that the Raiders faction was going to be more like Settlers than traditional Raiders. And, with a much harsher outlook. So, kind of, they're willing to do whatever they feel they have to do to survive. But this certainly makes it sound like they're going closer to a more traditional Raider approach than the impression I got over the summer anyway. It'd be interesting to see how that actually pans out, and where it's probably a middle ground somewhere in there, I would guess, but it'd be interesting to see how that actually goes. It implies here from suggesting that it's the land they once claimed for themselves and they're coming back, that some of the Raiders actually survived from the previous gangs and moved on out of Appalachia and are now returning again. So that's going to be interesting. Possibly this Meg is one of the former gangs. Might be an interesting interaction with Rose there as well, up at the top of the world. So should be interesting to see how that goes. Blend quite well into the existing lore as well, which is always good. Hopefully, anyway. So, responding from the sound of this to the arrival of the Settlers as well, and want to reclaim their rightful territory. Sounds like there's going to be a significant conflict brewing between the two groups. So, options to go whichever way you like. It's going to make that new instancing technology that Bethesda have been talking about very, very important, because the potential to impact for one set of actions to impact another person's game obviously is quite significant there. So instancing it and keeping it separate should be very, very significant to making sure that everybody can have their own experience, as well as being a shared world online game. So fingers crossed that they pull it off, it comes out the way they're hoping for. I'm interested to see how they're going to instance each area, if they're going to do it for the whole area or just for conversations or what. We'll have to find out more about the story and what's going on there, because obviously the technology will have to serve that in order to make it work properly, or effectively for this set of circumstances. So there's many questions as answers here, I think, but very, very cool to get a few more details about the newish factions in the game. A few more details always welcome. There's a picture we've previously seen. So, at both Foundation and Crater, you'll find completely revamped locations to explore, new vendors to trade with, crafting areas, and plenty of people to talk to. However, your interactions with those people will depend on your reputation with them and how they view you. Join us again next week for a look at the new reputation system coming for factions in Wastelanders. So, we've had reputation systems to a degree in Fallout games before. We've had, obviously, the Karma system in Fallout 3. It did exist in Fallout 4 to a degree, but not a great deal. Your interactions with the various factions tended to build up your reputation with them and how much they were willing to do, but it was very much more like a standard quest line in Fallout 4, so much more dialed back. And of course, New Vegas's faction reputation was very, very significant. Not my favourite thing, but I'd imagine Bethesda will take at least a few pages out of that book, given their huge popularity of New Vegas. So, interesting to see what they come up with here. Very much looking forward to finding out a little bit more next week. So, let me know what you guys think. I'm very, very interested to hear your take on the new factions and the new areas. I'm quite excited to explore them, really hoping for some cool building stuff. But we have a couple more points to round out this little blog post. Firstly, the Wastelanders PTS is underway. Earlier this week, we invited 500, or over 500, current Fallout 76 players to join us in a private test server to play test the new content and hunt for bugs in our upcoming Wastelanders update. In a few short days, the PTS has been live. We've already begun receiving fantastic and in-depth feedback, as well as new bug reports to investigate. Nothing particularly remarkable there, I don't think. The whole point of this exercise is to find the bugs that Bethesda can't themselves, and nobody will be surprised, I think, to find that that's been successful, Bethesda included. Receiving feedback that's quite in-depth, that's good to hear, it's promising. In-depth feedback, consistent bug reporting from people who are playtesting is definitely one here. You run the risk with things like that of people just seeing it as an opportunity to play early and not engaging with the feedback properly. From the sound of things, people are engaging well, which is really, really good to hear. It means it bodes well for the ultimate release of the update. And judging by this, I've got a sneaking suspicion they might be getting very, very close to giving us a release date. Adding details on factions, some of the stuff here, the tone of it. I couldn't put a finger on when I think that might happen, but I've got a hunch that it's not far off. I mean, that's not the most remarkable thing, given that it's got to be out by the end of March, but I've got a feeling maybe in the next couple of weeks, fingers crossed, we might have a release date. I could be wildly wrong, but it's just a little inkling I'm getting from this. So, as we've mentioned before, our testing needs will likely grow, and we're looking to expand on the current pool of playtesters. We're planning to send additional round of invites to the Wastelanders PTS within the next couple of weeks, and we'll let you know as soon as we have more details to share. So, if you've applied to playtest but didn't get in the first round, don't give up hope yet, you might get in the second. Maybe even a third if they do that. But we'll see what happens over the next few weeks. Makes sense to get the groundwork in place, make sure everything's functioning as a playtesting scenario first, and then expand. And again, given that they seem to be expanding over time, my guess is towards the end of the quarter for the release date, especially obviously as each week goes by, the likely release date goes a little bit further back. So yeah, I stand by my March guess. The second week is my current guess, but every week it gets a little less likely, but we'll see. But yeah, I think given the plan to expand testing, they're going to need time to implement their fixes, etc, etc, so later on is more than likely, but definitely in favour of that. More time, more effort put into making sure it's the best it can be is obviously something we all want to see. So, last but not least for today, last chance for Twitch Prime loot. So, at the moment, we've still got the Christmas bundle available on Twitch if you are a Twitch Prime member. Short version, if you have Amazon Prime, head on over to Twitch and link your Amazon Prime account with your Twitch account. If you don't have your Twitch account, it's free. You might as well sign up and grab some free stuff. Follow through all the links. There's a little crown icon in the top right corner, so it'll be over this side. And with a long drop-down menu for free stuff for lots of games. So have a quick scroll through there. Fallout 76 is a fair way down the list now because the bundle's been out for a bit. But you can grab the bundle, jump through all the usual hoops to link accounts, you know how it goes, and get yourself some free skins, some free, well, you can see everything here. You've got a combat shotgun skin, you've got an outfit, you've got a photo frame, an icon, and a whole load of skins for sleeping bags. So, yeah, it's free stuff, so why not? It is up until January 28th, so what are we looking at here? 5 more days until this particular offer goes away. It does look, from the page, like there will be 2 more offers coming on down the line. Exactly when, who knows? Gonna hazard a guess there might be a Valentine's one, and probably number 3 will be timed to coincide with the Wastelanders launch. That will be my guess, but we'll see. Either way, they've got more free stuff lined up, so grab it while you can. Very, very cool stuff in the blog post this week. Very, very happy to hear more details. Very much looking forward to hearing a few more next week. Very excited for Wastelanders. The hype is definitely building for me now. So I've rambled quite long enough, as per usual. I do hope you found this useful and informative. If you did, please do drop me a like and a sub. It's always very, very much appreciated. Social media links down in the description if you want to catch up with me on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. And if you're really enjoying the content, please do consider becoming a channel member as well. Support is very, very much appreciated. It really helps me do what I do. So thank you very much to everybody who's done that already. For now, I'll say thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.